program is presented by Success Society International. See you at the top. The altitude of your life is what will be defined by your attitude towards life. Hello, Champion Society. Welcome to Being Champions with Vaibhav Mehta. This is Vaibhav Mehta, your presenter for Being Champions with Vaibhav Mehta, with all the energy and enthusiasm. And today, before I say anything, before I share anything, before we share to you about journey of those wonderful people at the very top, I have a question to you. If you want to climb Mount Everest, or if you want to climb any mountain in the world, what will you need? What's the most important thing you need? Come on, speak up. You need sweaters, you need coats, you need warm clothes. Someone saying, yeah, I can hear some of you saying that if we want to climb the very top, we need the right shoes, we need the right instruments. But my dear champions, I want you to look things a little differently this time. You see, if you want to climb the mountain, the most important thing is knowing which mountain we have to climb, isn't it? It's about knowing which mountain we want to climb. And if we don't know the mountain we want to climb, how will we be able to define the equipments, the resources necessary for us to be able to climb that, isn't it? My dear Champion Society, I love reading about the journey of people who reached the very top, who became champions, who realized what their Everest is and were able to reach at that place in their life. And what I saw very common in all of them is that they all wanted to play the A game. They all wanted to be at the very top from the very beginning. They all wanted to play the game, and they all always wanted to be at the first place at whatever they did. You know, and that's so amazing to watch. It was Acharya Tulsi who once said that जो जो चरण बढ़ेंगे आगे स्वतः मार्ग बन जाएगा. That as the steps move ahead, we will be able to find our goal, our mission. It's not important, you know, when we start that we have to know exactly where we want to reach, but what we must surely know is that we want to reach at the very top. You see, Warren Buffett, one of the richest persons in the world, one of the most famous investors in the world, when he was very young, he said that if I'm not a millionaire by the age of 35, he said that either by the age of 35 I'll be a millionaire, or I'll jump from a building with a big height. You know, Jim Carrey signed himself a check of $10 million when he was having nothing in his life. You see, Shah Rukh Khan, when he came to Mumbai, he shared his wings of hands and said that this city will one day be mine. All of them wanted to play the A game. All of them were very determined that one day I want to be at the very top. And that's what made all the difference. You know, you can be a camera person and you can say to yourself that I want to become the best camera person in the world. You can be a cricketer and say that I want to become the best cricketer, because my dear champions, my question is simple. For whatever we choose to be in our life, we are moving ahead with all the other options we have, right? If I decide that I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm giving away the chances of being a speaker. I'm giving away the chances of being into something else. I'm giving away the chances of being a dancer, of a singer simultaneously in a wholesome profession, isn't it? So if I'm sacrificing so much to become that one thing, why not I give my 100%, and why not I dream to be at the very top, at the first place at that point of place? You see, it was Virat Kohli. You know, I won't say it from my mouth this time. Let's hear what Virat Kohli said about this thing, about playing the A game, about being at the very top.
फिर नहीं आप कर सकते हो. फिर no one can convince you. No chance.
So what is the motivation?
Motivation is just about winning. जिस दिन passion खत्म हो गया, I'll stop playing. I'll never, you know, want to drag myself for more than my body can take. जिस दिन I feel like यार I'm standing on the field thinking यार why am I doing this? मतलब वो passion नहीं है ना जीतने का, वो energy नहीं है जीतने की. मैं नहीं खेल सकता हूँ, मैं खेल ही नहीं सकता हूँ. Then that'll just be a participation thing कि चलो आपको skill है, आपको खेलने का idea है, तो आपने run बना दिए, performance कर दी. But if I can't contribute to the team, I won't play.
Now everybody keeps asking you questions about your great form, but you're a thinking person, you're a practical person. You've seen everybody else's long careers. एक ट्रफ तो आता ही है, सबका आता है कि एक भाई कभी ना कभी तो होगा कि नहीं मिलेगा, बल्ले का बीच जो भी कर लो. Is that something that you think about? Is it something that, or is it a passing thought?
यार मेरे साथ आ तो चुका है एक बार इंग्लैंड में 2014 में. That I think was my worst phase in terms of inconsistency. बाकी अभी ना जैसे परफॉर्मेंस हो जाती है 4-5 साल तो लोग वेट करते हैं कि कभी ना कभी तो बुरा टाइम आएगा. मेरे लिए एवरी मैच इज लाइक अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. आई गो आउट देयर एंड आई ट्राई टू डू माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माई एबिलिटीज़. मेरा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि मुझे किसी को कुछ प्रूव करना है या मेरी कंसिस्टेंसी ऐसी होनी चाहिए. अब लोग मेरे से ये एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं मुझे ऐसे खेलना है. बॉल देखी, खेल दी, मैच जिताना है, रन बनाने हैं, फील्डिंग में पूरा एफर्ट करना है, चाहे रन बने ना बने, उतना ही मेरा माइंडसेट है और वही मैं कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ. तो जब बैड फेज आएगा तो सर सीखने का अपॉर्चुनिटी है. जितना मैंने उस इंग्लैंड वाले फेज से सीखा, I don't think I've learned in my cricket career more before or after that particular phase. So the biggest challenge for me initially was to get over this phase of people judging me for my image. You know कि tattoo है मेरे तब. I used to wear those studs then and बालों में gel था and all that. I used to like to dress up and हाँ लोगों को प्रॉब्लम होती थी. अरे इनमें तो ये आजकल के लौंडे तो बहुत वो है, बहुत फ्लैम्बॉयंट है, बहुत फ्लैशी है.
शरीफा कहते हैं ना दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा रोग कि मेरे बारे में क्या कहेंगे लोग.
एब्सोल्युटली दैट्स सो ट्रू. मैंने बेस्ट क्या किया है अभी कि मैं सोशल मीडिया वगैरह से मैं दूर ही हट चुका हूँ. एंड इट्स द बेस्ट थिंग दैट आई हैव डन. एक्चुअली इंसिडेंटली लास्ट IPL ओनली मी एंड अनुष्का हैड कम टू सी मी टू बैंगलोर और मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे था.
You know what he said? He said something very simple, that if I'm sacrificing so much to being a cricketer, why not I become the best cricketer that has ever been born? You know, that's what the concept is with so much billionaires, so much of high achievers, that if I'm giving away so much to become this thing, why not I become the very best? And believe me, if we have that mindset, that's how it works. I recently realized and talked to myself, and in one of my self-reflection session, I came to know about myself. What I came to know is that where we reach in our life is determined by the capacity we have. And our capacity is defined by the limitations we set in our life. And the limitations we have in our life are determined by our thought processes, our determination, our surrounding, the people around us, the videos we watch, the people we talk to. And if we reshape our environment, we reshape our limitations. And when we reset our limitations, we are able to reshape our capacity. And when we are able to reshape and bring up our capacity, we can achieve bigger things, and that's how it works. So the Champion Society, as I move ahead and talk to you more about this thing, about how we can become champion, remember I quoted about Warren Buffett. So I want you to see about how Warren Buffett made his journey to the very top. The CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, one of the world's leading investment companies. Let's hear to him, let's hear from him about his journey to the very top.
If I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get in the rest of your life, you'd take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You'd read the owner's manual. You'd keep a garage and do all these things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. Just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with. And the most important thing is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with. And you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line. And you want to copy. And the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's better than you are.
Biggest mistakes people make when investing?
They just don't realize that all you have to do is just buy a cross-section of America and then never listen to people like me or read the papers or do anything subsequently. They think that because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow. Now you get something handed to you, liquidity, which is instant. You can sell, and the cost of doing it are pennies, compared to other kinds of investment activity. So because they can so easily move around, they do move around, and moving around is not smarter than investing.
You have a pretty cool morning routine regarding what you have for breakfast and how prosperous you feel. What is that?
I eat exactly what I like to eat. If somebody offered me a deal when I was 20 and said, you're going to live 1 year longer, you know, instead of living to 88, you'll live to 89 or whatever it may be, if you eat nothing but broccoli and Brussels sprouts and onions and all these things, you know, I just said, I'll, you know, take the last year off. It probably won't be that good anyway, you know. I mean, so I eat exactly what I like to eat.
Is business school worth it?
Depends on the person, and much more than it depends on the school. Some people are going to get a lot out of advanced education, and some people are going to get very little. And I don't even think it's important that every person go to college at all. We have all kinds of jobs at 70 or so thousand a year, or 80,000 a year, that college training is not of use. And I actually was not keen on going to college myself. Yeah, my dad kind of jollied me into it. He could get me to do anything, but I knew I could have a good time. I liked investing, and I could read the books. You know, it's a big commitment to take 4 years, and the cost involved, and maybe the loans involved, and everything. And I think depending on what your interests are in life, I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for a lot of people. But there ought to be a reason you're going, and I didn't really see much reason. If you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves them, you know. The best investment you can make is in yourself. If you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.
I'm sure you really learned about the champion spirit that Warren Buffett carried from the very beginning. And as I move ahead, as I talk to you more about in this episode, I'm trying to do something completely different. I don't want to speak to you about how champions become champions, because I'm in a journey of being champion like you are, right? And as we go ahead, let's hear a little from this time Shah Rukh Khan about how he made his journey to the very top, how he cleansed through the barriers of challenges to make his journey to the top, how he decided not to fall in the pit of circumstances but lead the circumstances.
Success is a wonderful thing, but it tends not to be the sort of experience that we learn from. We enjoy it, perhaps we even deserve it, but we don't acquire wisdom from it. And maybe that's why it cannot be passed on either. Me being successful does not mean my kids are going to be successful, even if I teach them everything that I know and how to do it. So I feel that talking about success is completely a big waste of time. Instead, let me tell you very honestly, whatever happened to me happened because I've always been terrified of failure. I don't want as much to succeed as much as I don't want to fail. I come from a very normal, lower middle class family. I saw a lot of failure. My father was a beautiful man and the most successful failure in the world. My mother also failed to stay long enough with me to see me become a big movie star. We were quite poor actually, and let me tell you, poverty is not an ennobling experience at all. Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. I watched my parents go through this several times. At an early age after my parents died, I equated poverty with failure. I just didn't want to be poor. So when I got a chance to act in films, it wasn't out of any creative desire, I say this honestly. It was purely out of the fear of failure and poverty. Most of the films I signed were discards of better-known actors, and the producers could not find anyone else to do them. I did them all to make sure that I was working to avoid unemployment. The timing or something was right, I worked very hard, there were other people around it, and I became a big star. The films became big hits, which means sometimes our success is not the direct result of our actions, and let nobody tell you that. Success sometimes just happens, really. It is accidental, and we have to take credit for it. I do it sometimes sheerly out of embarrassment. So I believe the true path to success is through the fear of failure. If you aren't scared enough of failing, you're unlikely to succeed. It's not pleasant to fail, it's tough. All of us experience it. You will too if you haven't already. So use it to succeed. How I've done is a few points I'd like to say, and then I'll end this monologue. Firstly, it's not the absence of failure that makes you succeed. It is your response to failure that actually helps to buffer the reverses that you experience. I personally have one response to failure: pragmatism. A recognition and belief that if one approach does not work, then the other will or might. Failure also gives me an incentive to greater exertion, harder work, which invariably leads to later success in most cases. Repeated failure has taught me to stop pretending I'm someone else. It's given me the clarity to stick to things that really matter to me instead of distracting me from my core. Failure also gets you to find who your real friends are. The true strength of your relationships only gets tested in the face of strong adversity. Overcoming some of my failures has made me discover that I have a strong will and more discipline than I suspected. It has helped me to have confidence in my ability to survive. Failure is an amazing teacher. There's a well-known story of this very successful man, and a reporter asked him, "Sir, how is it that you always succeed?" And he said, "Right decisions." I said, "How do you make right decisions?" And he says, "Experience." He says, "How do you get so experienced?" He says, "Wrong decisions and failure." So do fail, and it's all right to fail. You have to know and learn that life is not just a checklist of acquisitions, attainments, and fulfillments. Your qualifications and CVs don't really matter. Instead, life is difficult and complicated and beyond anyone's control. The humility to know it will help you survive its vicissitudes. But I don't want to sound dark. My hope for all of you is that you retain a lifelong love of learning, that you never cease to dream exciting and inspiring dreams. And when you fail, you fail well enough to succeed the next time. Don't be afraid of being afraid. Be afraid of not facing your fears and failures.
I'm sure that inspired you at the same time. You see, there are two choices we have in our life. Okay, the two choices are either we can be a part of crowd or either we can create our own crowd. Once again, हामी भिडको एउटा हिस्सा बन्न सक्छौं अथवा हामी आफ्नै एउटा भिड खडा गर्न सक्छौं. हामी आफै यति क्यापेबल बन्न सक्छौं कि हाम्रो पछाडी एउटा भिड नै खडा होस्. There are people all around us who want to come to us, learn from us and follow our journey. So my dear Champion Society, life is a game of choices, and the most beautiful part is we control our choices. Our choices are determined by what we choose. So the Champion Society, this is all I have in today's episode of Being Champions with Vaibhav Nahata. Next Monday 7 PM I'll be back with greater zeal, energy and enthusiasm for Being Champions with Vaibhav Nahata. See you soon next Monday 7 PM. This program is presented by Success Society International. See you at the top.